you again. Have some of you watched the American TV series How I Met Your Mother? For those of you who haven't seen it, in this series, there's a really nice couple, Lily and Marshall, who've agreed to use a code word every time a conversation shows sign of escalating into a confrontation. When one or the other says the word pause, they immediately stop speaking, take a moment to regroup, fill up their empathy tank, and regain their composure in order to eventually pick up the conversation where it was left off. The internal thermometer concept I'm going to talk to you about today is an apt image for this relational strategy. Imagine a thermometer divided in 3 sections. The bottom zone in green means you're calm and are open to having a talk, while the middle zone in orange signals an agitated mood and that having a conversation is riskier. The upper zone in red means your mood is explosive and having a conversation is not a good idea. The red zone must be avoided at all costs. When you're about to discuss serious matters, make sure that you're in the green zone of your internal thermometer. That is between 0 and 5 on the scale. When you're in the green, so to speak, you're likely to be more objective, less inclined to trying to win for the sake of winning, and more able to show empathy towards the person in front of you, as we talk about in the conscious communication videos. The critical time is when you're approaching 5 on the scale. Because when you're between 5 and 7 on the thermometer, you're in the orange zone, the risky zone. When you're in that spot, you tend to lose your objectivity. You may feel like blaming the other person, for example, saying something like, I know you're always on my back. You may also become slightly paranoid and perceive things that are, in fact, not there. You wrote him on Facebook, you want to go out again with him. Or when you interact in the orange zone, there's a very real risk that your relationship, the scarf that we talked earlier, will go south. Let me use the blank page metaphor to illustrate what I'm trying to say. When you start a new relationship, it's like a white sheet, new, smooth. As time goes by, if you tend to interact in the orange zone, there's a real chance that your sheet will crumple to the point of having so many folds that it will go or could tear up. The same goes for the feelings between two people, as some things cannot be easily forgotten or forgiven. And when you move up to the red zone, the one between 8 and 10 on the thermometer, you've reached the destroy zone, which I personally call the go away zone. When you're over 7 on the scale, not only are you no longer thinking objectively about things, but you're also likely to lose it completely. When you get there, it's better to remove yourself from the situation, since it can be easily escalate and lead to verbal abuse or even a physical altercation. Sometimes when a person is intoxicated or too tired or stressed out, it can lead to those regrettable altercations. In such moments, it's better to quickly excuse yourself, tell the person that you'll be back in a while, and go take some time off. Once you understand how this simple 3-zone system works, you can easily train your mind's eye to evaluate where you are positioned on your internal thermometer. I've sometimes come across students in the corridor who knew the thermometer code and who looked preoccupied, and I've asked them, so where are you right now? And the person to respond, 7. Okay. I immediately knew that it wasn't the best time to start a conversation. As I've said in the My Empathy Thank video, some people around us are always hard to interact with. It's almost as if we can help ourselves and always end up butting heads together every time we talk. With such people, agreeing on a code word or words that signals a dangerous rise in tension can be extremely useful. I personally have a friend with whom I've agreed on the code words green rabbits so that we can alert each other to the fact that we've reached our limit. These code words are so silly that they immediately make us shift into another gear and agree that it's time to end this potentially dangerous conversation. The trick here is being able to quickly know when we've gone past the green zone. When we've gone higher than 5 on our internal thermometer, we have to learn to recognize our alarm signals. A bit like when the smoke detector goes off when we left something's being left on the oven too long. Alarm signals tells us we've gone past the safe zone. They can vary widely from one person to another. Some people will sigh loudly, others will feel a lump in their throat, while some, like one of my students, will feel their hair getting red. Others yet will feel like they're about to break down or cry. So it's important to know what are your alarm signals in order to be able to avoid getting to that point where things can get out of control. It's a bit like when you're trying to heat up milk too fast and the saucepan suddenly overflows. You must know your personal boiling point. Once you've understood the above stated concept, approach this hard to deal with person in your life and agree on a way of interacting that will protect both of you from going at each other's throat and will therefore preserve your relationship, your scarf. Simply tell the person about the internal thermometer and the code word. Choose any word or words. Stop, time out, gargoyle, green rabbit. Anything that makes sense to you both and that you can be uttered anytime a person feels she or he has reached or his limit or considers that the other person has reached this limit. Remember though, the code word is meant as a red flag, not as an attack on the other person. It's meant to alert you both that something is about to go very wrong. Of course, you must agree on your strategy when you are both in a good zone, the green one, that is below the 5 mark on the thermometer, not when you're in the middle of an argument. I would do this code. Also, when one of you utters the code word, both people must agree to stop the conversation and call a time off. Go for a run, take a bath, spend some time on your own, etc. And come back to the conversation once you've both cooled off enough to get back into your respective green zones. You are not fleeing the situation, you are simply pausing to regroup and re-engage later with your empathy tank filled. I will certainly not be the one to teach you to run away from what's going on in your life. So, hoping this can be useful to you. Maybe you're already thinking of someone you could try this out with because you really care about this person and really want to keep this relationship alive. So, see you soon and have a nice day.